Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is December the 17th, 2018. Strong hand, long-term thinking, offended by selling. Bitcoin is the apex predator. Conviction. Check out the links below. Everything I talk about in this video is linked to below. Disruptmeister.com. All my archives, like almost 1,200 shows now. Hey, also, TechBalt. Follow me at TechBalt on Twitter. All right. So yesterday I forgot to, and I'm in Tel Aviv, Israel. Let me make that clear again. If I didn't make that clear yesterday, some people were asking, where are you, Adam? I thought yesterday's video, it was all about Tel Aviv. Anyway, the first part at least was. So to go back to that real quick, I mentioned that on January 3rd, which is the 10-year anniversary of Bitcoin, there are going to be parties all over the world because it's a Thursday night, and there's going to be a huge one here in Tel Aviv, and I might be live streaming from there. Anyway, what I forgot to mention, two things I forgot to mention. DJ Yanni Berger will be DJing. And Yanni actually is sometimes in this very chat. He's a guy I've met in person. He's a guy who's known in the crypto community in Israel and beyond. And sometimes he's randomly in the chat watching this show. So I don't know if he's watching tonight, but I forgot to mention you, dude. You weren't at the embassy the other night. I hope to see you soon. Also, I was reminded, if you're going to come to the event and if you buy tickets and you use the Lightning Network, there's a massive discount apparently. Okay, so you guys look into that. I'll have more information about this once I get a really good English translation of this flyer, because it's all in Hebrew and I can read Hebrew, but I'm no expert in what all the words mean. When I was in 5th grade, I was very good, but it's deteriorated since I was in 5th grade. Anyway, so let's talk about, when we're on the subject of Israel, let's talk about a guy who used to be an Israeli, Yaron Brook, who is, I guess, now an American. He was born in Israel. And I linked to this video below. Yaron Brook is sort of part of the intellectual dark web. Maybe he is. He's friends with Dave Rubin. I've linked to him on shows of mine. My Saturday's show, and by the way, check out Saturday's Beyond Bitcoin show and last week's Friday, This Week at Bitcoin show, which had Simon Dixon on it. All linked to below, of course. But Yaron brings up something that I brought up yesterday. He talks about how Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson seem to be coming up with their own version of Patreon in order to get rid of the Patreon is kicking people off of their service, basically. They discriminate. They censor. Okay, we get it. They're centralized. They can do that. So what you guys, and so Yaron has his doubts about this new endeavor, but not for the same reasons that I do. He just thinks it's hard, and he says, well, since it's a free market, we should be able to create a better competitor, but it's going to be hard. Well, here's the issue again. Why are you guys are just reinventing a wheel that keeps on breaking? Stop reinventing the broken wheel. That's what you're doing. A centralized way of raising money that can be shut down, that can censor. I mean, are Dave and Jordan going to let anybody use it? No, they will have specific rules also. Here's the shortcut. Here's the shortcut for all you guys. And these guys, Jordan Peterson is a freaking genius. But he's not smart enough. You can be a genius and not understand what you're getting into, and that there's a simple solution. The simple solution is Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about payment processors or if a bank is going to cut you off, and which they will if they create. And again, if they're building this, and I assume they're building this around the traditional banking methods that currently exist, the current institutions that already exist, the payment processors that already exist. If they're somehow building this around crypto, then it'll be better for a while, but they will still be a centralized weak point. The simple answer that all of you know is just list a freaking Bitcoin address under your videos, or do what Stefan Molyneux does. Have your web page and list your Bitcoin address on it. Stefan Molyneux, who those guys don't exactly like And they shouldn't let their personal differences with the dude get in the way. They should look what he's doing. He's had his Bitcoin address on his freaking donation page for many years. He has raised millions of dollars worth, literally millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin with that. It's that simple. He didn't have to build a whole new system. And the thing is, Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson might be partnering with some big billionaire, maybe. What's the guy that Dave Rubin had on his show that Thiel, but still it'll be centralized. And Peter Thiel likes cryptocurrencies. The simple answer is already out there. Stop reinventing a broken freaking wheel, but pound that like button. And I got $5 from CraigShip.com in the super chat. Thank you, Craig Ship, in your undisclosed location near Camp David. He says, hold Bitcoin until 2024. Strong hand. Oh, dude, keep on holding it hold it as long as you possibly can, because you're valuing your wealth in Bitcoin, baby. All right, let us move on. And always good to see Craig Ship here. Go to CraigShip.com. Obviously, that's Craig, CraigShip.com. He has a lot of great video services in Maryland. He's put me on his site before, and he has a business that he's trying to sell to people. He does very well with his business. He doesn't have any kids or anything, and he wants to pass it on to a mighty entrepreneur out there. And he's got a good system. So, and it doesn't have anything to do with crypto right now, but who knows? Anyway, I've talked about him before. Anyway, check him out. All right. So that was thank you, Craig, for that $5 super chat. I love meeting real crypto fans all over the world, whether they be in Maryland, where I'm originally from, or here in Tel Aviv, where I currently am. All right, so we talked about 21 million Bitcoins. That is like my favorite aspect of Bitcoin, my favorite quality of Bitcoin, that there only are ever going to be 21 million, okay? It's not some like how the US dollar can be printed to oblivion. That's one of the things that originally triggered me and got me interested, triggered me in a good way. It got me interested in Bitcoin. It's really simple. And a lot of people don't grasp this, that makes it sound that's it. There's not going to magically be more than that, but we still have these people who don't really get it. And here it is. It's a quote from Shagan. I don't know who this dude is. It's linked to below. And a lot of people commented on this. The largest governance debate ever will be on Bitcoin increasing its 21 million cap. And then there was a reply. It completely destroys Bitcoin's social contract, and it turns it from finite supply to arbitrary supply. I agree with that response. This is not going to be a big battle. Of course, someone's going to bring it up one day. They're just going to fork off and create their own 41 million. They'll call it 41 million Bitcoin or something, and it will fail. It will not. It won't be the next Bitcoin or anything. Let me repeat a part of that reply there. It turns it from finite supply to arbitrary supply. Institutions, smart thinking people, they're getting into this because Bitcoin is clearly defined. It's 21 million. It's not going to arbitrarily change one day. It's just, if that uncertainty is there, it destroys the whole thing. It destroys the whole concept. Why get into Bitcoin at all if all of a sudden you got in because you knew there were going to be 21 million. You changed your whole financial lifestyle. You valued your wealth in Bitcoin because there are only going to be 21 million ever. And then all of a sudden it changes one day. That's it. It's worth nothing at that point. It's worth nothing. It's meaningless there. And so, I mean, that is the conviction of Bitcoin. It's personal. If it was a person, it would stick with that. It will stick with that. But there are many people that have the conviction toward Bitcoin, like I do, that are so into it because of that one quality, the 21 million. It's only going to be 21 million. There are people, I mean, this is, I guess, an exaggeration. I can envision people lighting themselves on fire in the middle of the street to protest, saying, no, we're not going to let Bitcoin change. And it's not going to get to that. It's not going to get to that. No one light yourself on fire. Simon Dixon, don't light yourself on fire in the middle of the street to say that Bitcoin has to stay at 21 million, okay? It is good. But there are people like Simon Dixon. He has brought it up on my show before. He was worried when the Bcash fork was proposed that people would think that there were all of a sudden 42 million Bitcoin. And now we know that's silly. But back then it was not known yet. That's why you got to be a veteran in this space. We've gone through these forks before, many forks, and it didn't inflate the supply of Bitcoin. Everyone knows that one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not B cash. Bitcoin is not B gold. Okay. It's not, it is Bitcoin. There's only ever going to be 21 million. That is the most important aspect of Bitcoin. That's what I like the most about it. People will say other things, I can send my money out of the country. There are many good things it can do and that it will be able to do, but that's simple, pure brilliance right there. And it will be stuck. And again, in some parallel universe, if it were to change, it would be worthless. That would be it. It would destroy the whole thing. So yeah, my conviction is based around that very simple fact. There will only ever be 21 million of them. And so no, it's not going to be a big argument. That's FUD. When people were, some people out there just want to post controversial Twitter things. Okay. They want to get a conversation started on Twitter. So they say things like this, that, the biggest governance debate will be the number of Bitcoin. No, that will not be it at all. That's, all right. So strong brand. Yeah, I said brand, not hand. And by the way, that's a Bitcoin honey badger. Get this shirt below it. Crypto Graffiti did this shirt. I like this shirt a lot. Nice color on me right now. So no, strong brand. This link actually is from, I just found it today, from Breaker Mag, and it's from a September article, but they keep retweeting their old articles. So I see their old articles that I never read before. And it's called More Americans Have Heard of Dogecoin Than Ripple. And this article is about how so many more Americans, it was a poll of Americans, know about Bitcoin than any other crypto. It's not even comparable. Okay. And I'll go to the numbers in a second. You can check out the links are below of the tweet and the article itself. But this is something I noticed in the real world, that people ask me about Bitcoin. They don't ask me about EOS. I mean, if you get into the crypto communities, yeah, you're going to get some very specific questions sometimes. But there's so many people out there that think Bitcoin is cryptocurrency. Again, I've told this story before. A guy once asked me, how do I get the Litecoin version of Bitcoin? Meaning the Litecoin cryptocurrency, but he called it cryptocurrency Bitcoin. So anyway, so Bitcoin is by far the biggest brand. And anyway, and you've got all these people forking off of Bitcoin, using the Bitcoin name on their crypto dividends, because it is the strongest brand by far. And it doesn't even have a centralized marketing team. Okay, like all these other coins. So many other coins have, planned out marketing teams, like spreading the words with marketing plans, building their brand. But still, Bitcoin is the strongest brand. So here is the 71% of the people in the US, well, according to the poll, 71% of people in the US have heard of Bitcoin, according to YouGov. Very few have heard of any other cryptocurrencies. After Bitcoin, only 13% of those surveyed were aware of Ethereum, while just 7% knew about Ripple. 11% of those surveyed had caught wind of Litecoin, and 10% of Dash. And of course, Dash has a centralized marketing team. So, 13% had heard of Ethereum, while 71% had heard of Bitcoin. There's no comparison. And again, for all of you that think your coin's going to be the next Bitcoin, there's a hurdle right there for you. A big hurdle, brand awareness. And no, it just hasn't been for like a year. I mean, this has been the entire 10-year history of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has been by far the biggest brand, the one that's the most well-known, and mainstream society is finding out every day about cryptocurrency. Most people find out about Bitcoin first. That's the name they know, the name they remember. Brand recognition is huge in business. It's huge. People pay a lot of money for brand recognition, and Bitcoin doesn't have a marketing team they have to pay or anything like that. So read that article. It is an interesting one. Remember, I post a new show here every single day. So keep checking out this place every day. And of course, subscribe to the channel and also pound that like button. So here is a funny tweet from Whale Panda. If aliens would come to Earth and start mining Bitcoin, their equipment might be so advanced that they can easily 51% attack Bitcoin. I am really worried about this very likely scenario now. So that's kind of funny. But would it not surprise you that in the year 2021, if Bitcoin is going wild again in terms of fiat price, that an article based on this theory comes out, trying to scare people like, well, Bitcoin's doing really well, but if we were to get a hold of alien technology, we would be, or if aliens came here, it could destroy Bitcoin. They would be able to mine it and 51% attack it, and that would be the so this bit. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if a mainstream publication comes out with FUD similar to that, based on alien technologies. Which, of course, yeah. Remember this day. Remember this day in 2021. If we get an article like that from BuzzFeed or something, talking, or what's that? Huffington Post. That sounds like a Huffington Post one. Maybe they'll rehire David Seaman. Yeah, David Seaman could do an article about that. Yeah. When he gets back into crypto again and needs to pump Ethereum or whatever he does. Okay, yeah, that would be perfect one for him. Alien technology ruining Bitcoin. That's the FUD of 2021 here. You're seeing the future. Okay, so but just, again, in all seriousness, there's going to be some whacked FUD in the future, and you just got to get your hands strong for it. Okay. There's a lot of silly FUD that you can come up with that some people will take very seriously and blow out of proportion. Here is a tweet from Jameson Lopp. You see Bitcoin not as it is, but as you are. Environmentalists see an energy guzzling monster. SJWs see gender and wealth inequality. Economics, I can't say the word. See an economic system missing pedals for accelerating and braking. I got tongue twisters today. Cypherpunks see the promise of privacy. Libertarians see freedom. Yes. There are many different ways of looking at it. People kind of put their worldview on the Bitcoin, and don't let your worldview cloud what this thing is, okay? And steer you in a misdirection, in the wrong direction. So that is an interesting observation on the part of Lopp out there. How can I say the word? I'm having a economist. Why couldn't I say economist? It's like I've been in Israel too long or something. All right. Guy Bennett says $5. Okay, let's make sure. He sent $5. Thank you, Guy Bennett. What is a better quality of Bitcoin? Limited supply or being unconfiscatable? I'm leaning toward the latter. Ooh. If it were to suddenly become confiscatable, but there would still be a limited supply. Well, yeah, this is the thing. If there was an unlimited supply, I would rather there be a limited supply and it be confiscatable than there be an unlimited supply and it be unconfiscatable. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to have something that could be printed to oblivion that couldn't be taken away from me. What was the point of having it? It's not very unique. But if it was unique, but it could be confiscated, I could devise a way. It would still have value because it's unique, and I could devise a way to hide it as best as I can. Because gold is confiscatable. Gold is confiscatable, but it is limited. And it's better than the dollar, but the dollar is both confiscatable and unlimited. But anyway, okay. I think you see where I'm going with this. I value the limited supply more so than being unconfiscatable, because I feel I could make it unconfiscatable. I guess I'm a golden holder type of I'm a golden holder and I didn't know it. All right. But hey, that's it. That's a good question there, Guy. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I see. I'm leaning toward the 20. I put it's in the title of the video, 21 mil for life. I better stick with that one, right? But yeah, I guess we could have a bigger debate about that. That's an interesting. I'd like to hear everybody else's opinion on that. Leave that in the comments section below, because you could tell it's getting me to think out loud there. All right, that's it. That's the end of the show. Pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Check out all the links below. Thank you, all you live viewers, and Guy and Craig for the super chats. I'll say hi to you in the chat, and bang that bell button. Click on those squares that you see up there right now. See ya.